Alright, now I'm putting on kind of what they call a base color. Why am I using red? Well, it's because I had a whole quart of it. I've got other kinds. What I normally do is, here I'll show you. I go to Lowe's or Home Depot and I normally pick out a half a dozen colors every time I go. And I buy their little samplers for $3 a piece. Now they're great for doing little work, but when you gotta paint a larger surface, sometimes you'll eat that paint up in a heartbeat. So I sometimes buy quarts. Some neutral colors, some earth tone colors, some just bright colors. And I use that, in this case, to paint the whole thing. And then if I want to add any color to it, or if the wife wants to come out and put little flower bushes on it or something, or paint little windows on it, we have those samplers that we can use for it. So meanwhile, I just want to get a base coat on it. Now I'm not going to worry about the back, because the back's not going to be seen. It's got a good coat of primer on it, with a coat of Battleship Gray over that, so I don't have to worry about it. And the front pieces that you don't see, red, the grays are going to be a different color. And then there will be color added to the rest of it, basically. Like I say, I'm not going to go crazy with this. I'm just going to put it together, get it out there so they can utilize it. Alright. Now here on these doors, there's actually hinges, metal hinges underneath. That's a piece of workout mat. What I did was cut it and stapled it over just to make sure that I'm getting a little bit more of a seal, alright, to help keep the heat in, and at the same token stop any water or winter or anything from getting down inside it. So that's kind of how that is. So that's just a piece of workout mat, you know, that blue stuff, this stuff here. Yeah, it's kind of thin. I've got a lot of that laying around. I use that for sometimes for non-skid stuff, and I got non-skid laying around too. But basically, that's how it is. So there are metal hinges under those doors. Those are going to be latched this way. If a bulb happens to go out, I can just lift it, put my hand in, change out the bulb, close it, latch it back up, and we're done. The camera's in the middle one. Right now, all you see is the bottom with nothing in it. I will put the link up though, so if you just want to look at the bottom. But you know, I'll let you know if somebody moves in, so you can watch the activity. So hopefully somebody will move in there. So hopefully the base coat will be dry enough later so that I can start putting some color onto it. And what color, I don't have any idea, to be honest with you. I'd like to do the top black, however, because black draws the sun, which would draw heat for the winter, which is nice. You know, during the summer you like to have white, because white reflects the heat. So, but where this is going to be, it's really not going to make too much of a difference, because it's going to be underneath an overhang, so that it's going to be more or less protected. Alright, so that's where we're at so far. Oh, and by the way, it's cleaning up nicely. Alright, what I did was all that mess, I have it down to that little spot right there. So I'm sure I'll get a little bit more, and I'll just start filling that up, and then it should be to a point to where when I'm done, I just have to work on whatever's left in that little bin. So, alright guys. Alright, so anyway, that's dry enough so I can kind of start working on it a little bit with some different colors. Now, like I was saying earlier, if you're into this kind of stuff, arts and crafts, I guess, or you know, carpentry and building little things and painting, whatever, the Testors is good paint, but it's really not made for this. It's good for models and stuff like that. But even then, if you go online, And you go to these places that sell like airbrushes and things, you can get much better deals on other paints that'll work just as good. I mean, that's like $1 a bottle, and it goes almost nowhere. So, and they smell. So, I mean, it's just one of those things to where I keep a few bottles around, but I don't really go for it. I go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and I look through all their colors, and I pick out colors that I think I may want, and I'll buy, like I say, most of the time I take 6 at a time. I think they're $3 a piece, $3 and change a piece. Sometimes it depends on how much money I got in my pocket. I'll buy 2 or 3, but most of the time I go for 6. And they're great for for what you want to do with them. You can have all these different colors, and that's it. And you can always mix some of the colors, if you want to. So for the dollar, dollar for dollar, for $3, you're getting enough paint to where if you have a little project, in this case, this, you have enough different colors and paints there to work with, and you don't have to worry about it. So that's what I do anyway. You can get it in Behr's. I tend to like Behr's more than any other of the other stuff. A lot of that other stuff, you're just paying for a name, Loran, and Pierre de Cardin, and whatever other crappy paint they have out there. But Behr's seems to be a fair price and a good paint. So, but anyway, I'm gonna look through a few colors. I want to paint the front of each one, one color. And then I may add just some little blops with the brush to make it kind of look like a flower or something in some other colors, just to make it look, if anything, it'll look like a bunch of psychedelic bird droppings by the time I'm done. So, alright guys, let me get the 3 pieces in the front, figured out what color I want to go with, and see what happens. Alright, I'm going to get lazy here. I'm kind of done. I'm just going to take some paint, different colors, paper towel, and just going to go schmut, 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 and that's all I'm going to do. Because if I keep going with the paint, I got to keep waiting for it to dry. And I really have other things to do. So I want to get this out and hung. Again, do I really care what it looks like? As long as it serves the purpose. So I can always paint it up and doll it up this summer. Anyway, so I'm going to just get some paper towels and smudge with different colors and see what it comes out like and what it looks like. Alright, that's kind of what it's going to look like. Screw it. I was going to go out and get some leaves and do a camo looking, but I've already put too much time into this for just... If it was one that I was actually going to build as a nice little birdhouse showpiece type thing, it'd be totally different. It's just that I want to get it out, I want to get it done, and let them use it because it's got the heat. And that's all there is to it. So I'm kind of just taking a lot of shortcuts. Like I say, not really care what it looks like. Kind of look like the hood. Kind of like graffitied, but at this point it's gonna do its job, and they will move in if they find it. I mean, the colors are not gonna really chase them away. If anything, it may attract them. So, but anyway, that's kind of where it's at. Sorry that I made a kind of a little disaster masterpiece, but this spring, when I get everything else organized and I have time, I'll build a couple of individuals and we'll do it nice and right for you. But for now, that's all I'm doing.